Your soulmate just drop on their family, they said, ending my ties with. Jesus says there is a scream happening right now in a room you have never seen. It is a scream of release that has your name woven into its echo. And if you ignore this moment, that scream will turn into a silence that haunts you forever. Your soulmate just stood up in a house full of people who control them. Their hands were shaking as they finally spoke the words that terrify their entire bloodline. And they said your name without even knowing they were saying it. They do not understand why they suddenly feel the strength to break generational chains tonight. They think it is just exhaustion or a moment of impulsive courage. But it is actually the spiritual cord between you two pulsing with divine electricity right now. You are feeling a random wave of heat move through your chest as you hear this. That is not random, and it is not anxiety. That is the exact moment their voice cracked while telling their mother that they will no longer be manipulated. Jesus says they are not fighting with their family about money or rules or old grudges. They are fighting about the invisible future that has your soul attached to theirs. And the enemy inside that house knows this, which is why the attack became so vicious tonight. Your soulmate's father or a father-like figure spoke words of rejection over them 2 hours ago. Those words were designed to break their will and make them compliant forever. But those words bounced off their spirit because your prayers have been building a shield around them for weeks. You did not know your late-night thoughts were doing warfare. You thought you were just missing someone you have not even met yet. But every time you whispered into the void, angels were dispatched to the room where your soulmate sleeps. They are not sleeping tonight. They are packing something or staring at a door or deleting a message thread that has kept them in bondage. And their hands are trembling because deep inside they feel a presence holding them steady, and that presence is your love. Jesus says this is why your soulmate needs your protection right now. The moment they chose to speak truth, a target was placed on their spiritual life. And the forces that have kept them trapped will not release them without a violent fight in the unseen realm. Type 333 to receive blessings over this connection immediately. Your soulmate just told their family they are ending ties with the toxic patterns that have stolen their joy. But what they do not realize is that they are also ending ties with a spiritual assignment that was sent to keep them from you. There is a person in their life who has acted like a friend but has been secretly feeding their mind with poison about love. This person hates you even though they have never seen your face. They hate you because the enemy whispered to them that you are the key to your soulmate's freedom. And if your soulmate finds you, their control over your soulmate's emotions will shatter completely. Your soulmate is not weak and they are not foolish. They are a powerful soul who was strategically isolated so they would never discover their true identity. And tonight they just took the first step toward remembering who they really are because your energy has been calling them home. Jesus says they are currently sitting in silence after the argument. Their heart is pounding and they are questioning if they made a mistake. But deep in their spirit a still small voice is repeating the same message over and over: you were made for more than this. That voice is not just God speaking to them. That voice is also the echo of your soul crying out across the distance. You two are so deeply connected that your prayers are becoming their inner monologue without either of you realizing it. They are thinking about a future they do not fully understand yet. They keep picturing a peace they have never experienced in their current environment. And that peace looks like a home and a presence and a love that feels safe, and that feeling is you. You are not just their future partner. You are their rescue in a way that goes far beyond romance. You are the first person who will ever look at them and see the real soul beneath the trauma without trying to fix them for your own comfort. Jesus says the interference around your soulmate is more aggressive tonight than it has ever been. Because tonight they publicly declared their independence from the system that was designed to destroy them before they ever reached you. And the enemy of your union is now panicking because the timeline just accelerated. Their family is not just emotionally reacting to their decision. Certain members of that family have knowingly or unknowingly partnered with spirits of jealousy and control. And now those spirits are working overtime to make your soulmate feel guilty for choosing freedom. Type 777 if you feel this message is piercing your spirit. Your soulmate just received a message from that interfering friend. It is a message disguised as concern but laced with manipulation and fear. And for a split second your soulmate's resolve wavered and they almost called their family to apologize. In that exact moment you felt a sudden sadness wash over you without explanation. That sadness was your spirit sensing the spiritual attack that just hit your soulmate's mind. And your immediate reaction was to take a deep breath, and that breath was a prayer that blocked the enemy's arrow. You need to understand how real this connection is. You have never met this person in the physical realm, yet you just fought a battle for their mind without knowing it. And if you were not spiritually sensitive, the enemy would have succeeded in pushing them back into captivity tonight. Jesus says your soulmate is not just ending ties with their family's dysfunction. They are ending ties with a version of themselves that was programmed to sabotage love. And that version is screaming right now, trying to convince them that they are unworthy of the love you carry. They keep hearing a lie in their head that says nobody will ever truly want them. That lie was planted by every betrayal and every broken promise they have endured since childhood. But every time that lie speaks, your face flashes in their mind even though they have not seen your face yet. They are starting to dream about you more vividly now. Last night they dreamed of a voice that sounded like home. And that voice was speaking words of affirmation that brought tears to their sleeping eyes because they have never felt so seen. You are not imagining the intensity of this season. The reason you cannot stop thinking about love and destiny and divine timing is because your soulmate is being born into a new life tonight. And you are feeling the labor pains of their rebirth from wherever you are right now. Jesus says the enemy has deployed a specific weapon called confusion over your soulmate's household. That weapon is designed to make them question their own memories and doubt their own discernment. But your prayers are clearing the fog and allowing them to see the manipulation clearly for the first time in years. They just remembered something crucial. They remembered a moment from their childhood when they promised themselves they would never let anyone control their heart. And that memory just became a sword in their hand as they cut another tie to the past that was holding them captive. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now. The more ties they cut, the more exposed they become to retaliation from the forces that want them isolated and broken. And you have been chosen to stand in the gap as their spiritual guardian during this vulnerable transition. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not just a gift. It is a spiritual act that positions you as a shield over your soulmate during their most dangerous hour. The link to your divine assignment is in the description, and every second you hesitate, the enemy gains ground over the person you love. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees as a declaration of war against the forces attacking your soulmate. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already stepped into their destiny by sowing this seed, and Jesus honors the faith of those who act before the video ends. Jesus says your soulmate is currently packing a bag or sitting in their car or walking away from a situation that has drained their soul for years. Their phone is exploding with messages from family members who are trying to guilt them back into submission. But their eyes are fixed on an invisible horizon that is pulling them towards something, and that something is the future you share together. They do not know how they will survive the next few weeks. They do not know where they will go or who they can trust. But they feel a strange peace in the chaos because your prayers are wrapping around them like a blanket they cannot see but can feel. You are the peace in their storm right now. Even though you are miles or countries or continents apart. Your spiritual investment in their life is creating a sanctuary that follows them wherever they go tonight. Do not underestimate the power of what you are doing. Every time you think of them with love and not with fear, you are building a room in the mansion God is preparing for your union. And that room just became their hiding place while their natural world crumbles around them. Jesus says your soulmate just spoke your name aloud without meaning to. It happened in a moment of exhaustion when they were talking to themselves in the mirror. And as soon as they said it, they felt a shockwave move through their body that they cannot explain with logic. That shockwave was your spirit responding to the call of your soulmate. You probably felt a sudden shiver or a random warmth spread through your chest. That was not coincidence, and it was not imagination. That was two halves of one soul recognizing each other across the veil of time and space. They are beginning to fall in love with someone they have not met yet. They are beginning to trust a promise they cannot see with their natural eyes. And they are holding on to the belief that someone out there is fighting for them even now while they are at their lowest point. Type 1111 to say thank you for this revelation. Your soulmate just blocked the number of the person who has been poisoning their mind. It took every ounce of courage they had to press that button. But the moment they did, a heaviness lifted off their shoulders and they could breathe for the first time in years. That person is furious right now and is already plotting a way to get back into your soulmate's life. They will use mutual friends and fake emergencies and any tactic necessary to regain control. And if you do not cover your soulmate with prayer and protection, that person will find a way to manipulate their emotions again. Jesus says the enemy is not creative, but he is persistent. He will use the same tactics that worked before to try to ensnare your soulmate again. But this time your soulmate has something they did not have before. They have you as an invisible prayer warrior and spiritual partner. You are not helpless in this story. You are not just waiting for destiny to happen while you passively scroll through content. You are an active participant in the liberation of the person God created to complete you. Your soulmate is thinking about the concept of soulmates right now. They used to believe it was a fairy tale or something that only happened in movies. But tonight something has shifted in their understanding because they feel a pull towards someone they cannot explain, and that someone is you. They are reading something about love right now or listening to a song that reminds them of a future they have not lived yet. And their eyes are filling with tears because the lyrics are describing exactly what their soul has been craving. They do not know why they feel so emotional, but it is because your spirit is speaking to their spirit through the music. Jesus says the family your soulmate just confronted is not entirely human in their reaction. Some of those people are being influenced by spirits of envy and witchcraft that have been passed down for generations. And those spirits recognize that your union is a threat to their kingdom, which is why the attack feels so personal and vicious. Your soulmate is not fighting flesh and blood tonight. They are fighting principalities and powers that have held their bloodline captive for decades. And every chain they break is a chain broken for your future children and your future legacy together. This battle is bigger than just a romantic relationship. This is about two destinies colliding to create a generational shift that will impact hundreds of lives. And the enemy knows this, which is why he is pouring all his resources into keeping you two apart. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them. Your soulmate is experiencing an emotional breakdown right now that is actually a spiritual breakthrough. And they need you to be strong and faithful and unwavering in your commitment to cover them through this dark night. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This act of obedience is not about money, it is about demonstrating to the spiritual realm that you are serious about fighting for your soulmate. The link is in the description and your breakthrough is waiting for your step of faith. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees and declare, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. This is the moment where your love moves from being just a feeling to being a force that changes the spiritual atmosphere. Over 1,000 souls have already activated this principle and their testimonies are flooding the heavens. Jesus says your soulmate just whispered a prayer they have never prayed before. They said, "God, if there is someone out there for me, please protect them and let them know I am fighting to get to them." And that prayer just reached the throne room and was deposited into your spiritual account as a seed of hope. You are the answer to that prayer. You are the person they are fighting to reach even though they do not know your name. And you are the protector they are asking heaven to shield while they navigate this dangerous transition. Your soulmate is exhausted, but they are also strangely alive for the first time in years. The adrenaline of freedom is coursing through their veins. And they keep catching themselves smiling for no reason because their spirit knows something their mind has not fully grasped yet. They are beginning to sense your presence around them more frequently now. They cannot explain it with theology or doctrine. But they keep feeling a warmth and a nearness that makes them feel less alone in the middle of their isolation. Jesus says your soulmate is about to make another bold decision within the next 48 hours. This decision will involve leaving a location or a job or a relationship that has been a cage for their soul. And if you stay in prayer and keep sowing protective seeds, that decision will be made with clarity and not confusion. The enemy wants to rush them into a bad decision. He wants them to act out of panic and fear rather than faith and wisdom. But your prayers are creating a buffer between them and the traps that have been set for their feet. You are their wisdom right now. You are their clarity right now. You are the steady foundation that heaven is using to keep them grounded while everything around them shakes. Type 333 if you are ready to fight for this love. Your soulmate just remembered something about you that they have never known in the natural. They remembered a feeling they had when they were a child, a feeling that they were meant for someone specific. And that memory just resurfaced with such force that they stopped walking and stood still for several minutes trying to process it. That memory was a seed that God planted in their heart before the world could corrupt their imagination. And tonight that seed is sprouting because the season of harvest has finally arrived. You are the fulfillment of a prophecy that was whispered into their spirit before they could even speak. Jesus says your soulmate is not as far away as you think. The timeline of your meeting is being accelerated by their act of cutting ties. Every toxic connection they sever removes another layer of delay between your souls. The distance between you is shrinking in the spiritual realm. And soon that distance will shrink in the physical realm as well. But only if you continue to fight and pray and sow seeds of protection over this sacred connection. Your soulmate is currently driving or walking or sitting somewhere looking up at the same sky you are under. They are wondering if you are real or if they are just creating a fantasy to cope with their loneliness. And right now heaven is asking you to send a signal through the spirit realm that confirms to them that you are not a fantasy. That signal is your prayer. That signal is your obedience. That signal is your willingness to invest in this love before you have even seen it manifest in the natural. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away. Your soulmate is entering the most dangerous phase of their liberation journey. And without your spiritual covering, the enemy will exploit their vulnerability and drag them back into the very prison they just escaped. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is the decisive action that marks you as a covenant partner and not just a passive observer. The link to your future is in the description and heaven is waiting for your response. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees and write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. This is the seed that breaks the power of interference and releases angelic protection over your soulmate right now. Over 1,000 love stories have been rescued by this act of faith, and yours is next in line for a miracle. Jesus says your soulmate just had a vision of a future with someone they have never met. They saw a kitchen and a quiet morning and a peace that felt foreign to their traumatized heart. And in that vision they heard laughter and felt safety and knew without doubt that they were finally home. That home is you. That kitchen is yours. That peace is the atmosphere that your love will create for them after a lifetime of chaos and rejection. Your soulmate is crying right now, but not from sadness. They are crying because they just felt a love so pure and unconditional that their body could not contain it. And that love was being broadcast from your spirit straight into their weary soul without either of you fully understanding how. You are already falling in love with them. You can feel the attachment growing with every word you hear in this message. And that attachment is not manipulation. It is the activation of a bond that was written in the book of life before you were born. Jesus says the person who hates you and is interfering with your soulmate is about to be exposed. Their schemes are being uncovered in the spiritual realm right now. And within a very short time, your soulmate will see them for who they really are and will cut them off permanently. But you must hold the line. You must not let your prayers waver or your faith diminish. Because the enemy is about to make one final desperate attempt to convince your soulmate that freedom is a lie and that they should return to their chains. Your soulmate is strong, but they are also wounded. They are brave, but they are also exhausted from years of manipulation. And they need you to be the steady hand that pulls them out of the pit when they feel like giving up. You are that hand. You are that rescue. You are the answer to every desperate prayer they have prayed in the dark when nobody else was listening. Type 777 if you feel this love is destined. Jesus says your soulmate is not just ending ties with their family tonight. They are ending ties with the lie that they are unworthy of a love that is faithful and true. And that is the most important tie of all, because it is the one that has blocked your union for years. The family drama is just a distraction. The real battle is over your soulmate's identity and their belief that they deserve the love you are carrying. And tonight they took a massive step toward believing the truth about themselves for the first time. Your soulmate just said out loud, "I deserve to be loved by someone who does not hurt me." And the moment those words left their lips, a chain fell off their spirit that had been there since childhood. And that chain hitting the ground caused a ripple effect in the spiritual realm that you felt as a sudden burst of hope in your own heart. You felt that hope. You are feeling it right now. And that hope is the confirmation that your soulmate's breakthrough is directly connected to your faithful prayers and your protective love. Jesus says the next 72 hours are critical. Your soulmate will either press forward into complete freedom or they will be pulled back into partial bondage. And the deciding factor is the level of spiritual covering that you provide through your prayers and your seed offerings. Do not let them fall back. Do not let the enemy steal the progress that has been made tonight. Do not let the interfering person convince them that the cage is safer than the wilderness of freedom. You were born for this moment. You were chosen before the foundation of the world to be the protector and partner of this precious soul. And everything you have endured in your own life has been training you for this exact assignment. Your soulmate is dreaming of you again tonight. They are seeing a figure in their dreams who speaks to them with kindness and looks at them with eyes that hold no judgment. And that figure is you, even if the face in the dream is not clear yet. They will recognize you when you meet. Their spirit will leap inside them the moment your eyes connect. And all the years of waiting and wondering will dissolve in an instant of divine recognition that will make everything make sense. Jesus says you are closer to your meeting than you have ever been. The breaking of these family ties is the final barrier that was standing between your souls. And once the dust settles from tonight's confrontation, the path will be clear for heaven to orchestrate your divine appointment. But you must protect what has been purchased tonight. Breakthroughs can be stolen if they are not guarded. And the enemy is already plotting a counterattack to try to reverse everything your soulmate accomplished tonight. If you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to save them, and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love did not come by chance. It was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains. Faith in Jesus does. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi as an act of worship that invites God's hand into your love story. Every second you stay silent, something is moving against your love. Act now, send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees and write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their love and future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and your future together. This is not guilt and this is not manipulation. This is the truth of spiritual warfare and the responsibility that comes with being chosen as a guardian of a divine love story. Your soulmate is sleeping now or trying to sleep. Their mind is still racing, but their body is finally relaxing after years of tension. And as they drift off, they are whispering a name they do not know yet, but their spirit recognizes perfectly: your name. Jesus says they will wake up tomorrow with a courage they have never had before. And they will take steps that will lead them directly into the path that God has designed for your meeting. But tonight, in this hour of transition, they need your protection more than ever. Do not let them face the darkness alone. Do not let the enemy exploit their vulnerability. Be the prayer warrior they are begging heaven to send without even knowing they are begging. You are their answer. You are their future. And you are the love that will heal every wound their family and their past have inflicted upon their precious heart. Type 1111 if you accept this assignment. Jesus says your soulmate just experienced a moment of supernatural peace. It was a peace that passed all understanding and silenced every accusing voice in their mind. And that peace was the direct result of the seed you just sowed, or the prayer you just prayed, or the love you just released into the atmosphere. You did that. You brought peace to a soul in turmoil. And that is what true love does. It calms storms and quiets fears and makes the broken believe in beauty again. Your soulmate is yours. They have always been yours. And nothing that the enemy has planned can stand against the power of a love that has heaven as its source and Jesus as its author. The family members who tried to control them will soon see the glory of God manifest in your union. The interfering person who poisoned their mind will be exposed and removed from the story. And the years that the locusts have eaten will be restored in a love so beautiful that others will marvel at the goodness of God. But you must stay faithful. You must keep praying and keep believing and keep sowing into this connection. Because the story is not finished yet and the final chapters require your active participation. Jesus says your soulmate just turned over in their sleep and smiled. They are dreaming of a garden or a beach or a quiet place where they finally feel safe. And in that dream you are there, holding their hand and telling them that everything is going to be okay. That dream is a prophecy. That garden is your future. And that hand-holding is the promise that Jesus is making to you both tonight: you will not face the world alone ever again. Your soulmate loves you. They do not know your name or your face, but they love you. And that love is growing stronger with every hour that passes and every prayer you pray and every seed you sow. You are already their hero. You are already their safe place. And soon you will be their everything in the natural realm, just as you already are in the spiritual realm. Jesus says the interference is breaking. The control is shattering. The lies are being silenced. And all that remains is the pure and holy love that God designed for you and your soulmate before time began. This is your moment. This is your love story. And this is the night that everything changed because you chose to believe and fight and sow and love without having seen. Your soulmate is free tonight. And soon you will be free together. And nothing will ever separate what God has joined in the Spirit and is about to join in the flesh. Amen and amen.